So what happens so often is that I forget to notate stuff that's going on, and I need to be able to refer back to it later, and I can't always, because I'm not always in the position to write. And so I want to do a little video about uh, house meetings, and particularly about Thai uh, in-house meetings, and particularly about me and my relationship with Thai. Because here's what's happening. I've met Thai before, Thai like before. I've encountered that before. I remember that. I know how to deal with that. Um, but initially, it was a new situation, and I'm particularly vulnerable right now. My suit of armor is not exactly um, polished, and my initial uh, interactions with Thai have not served me well, and so now I feel particularly vulnerable when I'm around Thai. She has never said anything inappropriate. She has never behaved inappropriately. She has never. She is not inappropriate. But I encounter people on a lot of different levels. I encounter them physically, and I encounter them visually, and I encounter them orally, and I listen very carefully, and I look at them, but I also feel them. And many times with Thai, I just feel danger, and so I pull back, and I realize I've said too much, and I feel vulnerable, and particularly around the issue of the house meeting. And I don't know why when she brought it up that I got this feeling of danger, but I did. And so I noted it. And so the morning of the house meeting, I took a walk. I had things to do anyway. I have a lot of things I'm doing. I was checking on applications. I was putting in applications. I was doing a tour, seeing what was available, and I was trying to get it done for the house meeting. I thought I should go to at least one, I just I fucking hate fucking house meetings, and they never do anybody any good. But I got this feeling from Ty that I should be prepared. And so it did not come as a surprise to me when she kind of ambushed me at the meeting. We had wrapped everything up, and despite the fact that whoever she was from Cher, ridiculous, despite the fact that she was almost an hour late, that she didn't bother to inform anyone except Cheryl, who would not be there, that she was running late, that she did not think enough to, that Cheryl did not think enough to inform us that the meeting was running late. Like I don't have better things to do. Like I don't have jobs to apply for. Like I don't have applications to check on. Like I can schedule a ridiculous amount of time in the middle of a very important day for me to get work for somebody that's running behind, so they can show up and not understand what's going on, and not be organized, and not really have a plan in place, and they shuffle a lot of papers around, and they want to pass out some papers and have you fill in your goals for the next 5 years. And what I'm thinking is, this is a colossal waste of time. This is ridiculous. But okay, it's a game I have to play, fine. I'll invest an hour in this, make everybody feel happy, and leave so I can go get a job. But I had anticipated that these are the times when territories are made, alliances are made, first impressions are everything. And I knew Ty who has been in these situations, was kind of a veteran, and kind of needed to stake a claim. And I fully anticipated that she would try to ambush me in some way. I didn't know how she was going to do it, but I knew she was going to do it. And so I spent the morning when I was walking around, checking on applications and stuff, I spent the morning walking around rehearsing. What is Ty going to possibly bring up, and what can I do? What is the one response that I can do that's going to be short, sweet, get me out of like having to engage in this like ridiculous mishigas? What can I do? And so I decided that no matter what came at me, didn't matter. I couldn't anticipate what it would be, how it would be, but I could anticipate that it would be. And so I had to have a universal answer. And then I came up with it, which was, I have to think about it. Thank you. I was unaware of that. It's new information to me. Let me think about it before I respond. And I decided that that response would work for anything. Would work for anything. First of all, the ridiculous social worker wannabe would think I was very thoughtful about that, and I was someone that took their time. And what I really wanted to say was, bitch, I know what you're fucking up to. I know what that's but not me, because I rehearsed. That's what I did. I rehearsed. And and all day long I walked around for hours going, really? That's news to me. Thank you so much. I'll think about that. Thank you. No, I'll think about that. Oh, let me respond later. I want to think about that. Do I think about that? No. Fuck you. I don't. Not at all. But I also knew that not only would it delight any social worker to hear somebody actually giving thoughts before they responded, I knew it would completely alter her strategy. I think the idea was that she was going to bring something up, and that I'm emotionally unstable and I feel compelled to respond. And when I do respond, then you're going to see a side of me that maybe isn't the side that I want you to see, and then I'm going to fall apart, and suddenly we're going to have a meltdown in front of the social worker, and then Ty looks like a queen and I look like a fucking idiot. No. And so the great joy I had was knowing that she would do it, and when she did, not being surprised, and looking her directly in the eye and saying, girlfriend, really? You better up your game, because I don't see that happening. So here's what she's going to do next, because she's going to do it. And the part that I'll refer to when they bring it back. Here's the next step. I've made a very conscious choice, a very conscious choice, to spend as little time there as possible for the time being. I don't want to engage with her. I don't like the way I feel after I engage. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to say Toya's a bad person. She's not a bad person. She's very respectable, and there are parts of her that I even admire. I do. I just don't want to be around her, really, particularly, unless we're talking about dinner or movies or whatever. But, you know, she gets into this whole, you need to do this and you should do that, and it's like she's auditioning for, you know, for like the social worker equivalent of American Idol, you know? She's like, it's like she's constantly doing this substandard amateur hour kind of social work, and I don't need it, and I don't want it, and I don't want to hear you tell me what you think I ought to do, because I look at you and I don't want what you have. Really, I don't. And if I wanted to, more often than not, I would like someone to say, me too, or yeah, I know, man, that sucks, or whatever. But what I don't want is unsolicited advice. I'm a teacher, and I know one thing. You can't teach until the student comes to you, and I'm not going to her for anything. Even as far as the entire reason, 90%, and this is the important thing, 90% of the reason that I chose to go to that house in the middle of nowhere was because I was under the understanding that we had a working computer and that we had an internet connection. And the day that I went out there to look at the house, Cheryl, you did, you made a point to say you had a computer and Wi-Fi, and then you pointed over to the computer table, and there was your laptop, I guess, but I didn't know it was your laptop. I just saw a working computer, and you said there was a working computer, and it wasn't until I showed up with a check that suddenly there isn't a working computer, and we have to wait, and so we do. And it's real critical that I have a computer, because it's really the only reason I went there, because I thought I can get a job with that, because I'm good at the computer. I know how to run a lot of ads on a lot of different websites, including my own, and build them, and I really needed the ability to sit down for long blocks of time and do what I know how to do, and suddenly the one tool that I needed is not there, and the only person in the house that apparently knows how to turn shit on is Ty. The computer worked one day. One day it worked. And I got a lot done on that day, by the way. I got 3 interviews that day. But now it's not working, and the only advice I get from the landlord, who made a point, a selling point, she's in real estate, she made a point of saying, working computer and blah, 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 and then I get there and there isn't one. Her response was, well, ask Ty. But she doesn't know. And she can't know, and I'm not going to bring it up. Well, I'm bringing it up now because I'm on video, but I wouldn't ordinarily bring it up. Look, I don't want to go to Ty. I don't want to fucking knock on her door and say, please help me with the computer. I don't want anything to do with her. I don't want one more fucking... Sorry. I don't want one more fucking eye roll out of that entitled, whatever. I don't want to go into a list of names. It's not fair. It's not nice. And I just don't want to do it. I would rather do without. I would rather travel 3 hours in to use the computer at Share than have to deal with Ty. So here's what she's going to do next. By the way, Ty will invent something. I don't know what it's going to be, but it will be big enough to catch attention. You know, I don't know what it's going to be. I haven't been there a lot. She might capitalize on that. While he was out doing this, that, and the other thing, and when he came back, whatever. She might try to do that. I keep everything above board and everything super clean and everything super organized all the time. So she's going to have a tough way doing that. But I think she's going to invent something. I don't know what it is, but she's not. But here's the important thing. She's not done. She will invent something. She will invent a story. She will invent an event. She will invent an altercation. She will provoke an argument. She will choreograph a situation. I don't know what she's going to do or how she's going to do it, but let me tell you this. She's going to do it.